Okay, I've had some requests for how to solve bearing problems. Now, these really, once you get your head around them, are not too tricky. It's just getting your head around them to start with. And the way to think about this is everything is related to north. So if I've got a point here, in fact, I'll draw a point here. Call this point A. You're traveling from point A and you're going to travel off to point B. There's point B. Now, if you're going to travel from point A to point B, well, what direction is that line? Is it an angle of some, where's the angle from? So what we do is we say if it's a bearing, we have the angle from north. And the angle goes always from north. Here we are, north. So now, we can say now there's an angle. Here we go. The angle is this thing here. So whenever we do a bearing, it's always from north. So if I'm going to go from A to anywhere, it's always north. We always start with north, and we start at north and we work our way around until we get to the bearing. So for example, if the bearing was this one, so we're going from here and we're going over to here, this was A and this was B, and we're going from A to B. We go north, there's my north, and we're going to B, there's B. We start at A and we work our way around. Oh, and there is our bearing. That thing there's our bearing. So let's say we're going from here to here. Here's our A, here's our B, here's A, there's north, and we're going to B. Start at A and we work our way around, start at the north and we go work our way around. Oh, there's the bearing there. That's the bearing. Whatever angle this is, there's our bearing. And it doesn't really matter where B is. So let's say, for example, we've got an A here and B is here. So here's my A, here's my B, here's A, that's north. We're just going to go round until we get to B. So I'll draw a line to B though, but the bearing is going to be until we get to, oh, there it is there. This is the angle. Let's make it a bit more. Here's my A. This time my B is, let's put the B over here. So here's my B. So here's, again, A is from north, there's north. And here's B, I'm going to draw a line again to B. Each time I'm drawing a line to B, but I start at north, I just work my way around. Oh, there's the bearing. What about if A was over here and B was over here? So I start at north, I draw the line to B, and I work my way around until I get to, oh, there's the bearing. What say A was here and B was here? So I start at A, make a north, draw a line from A to B as I did before, and work my way around from A, starting at A, all the way around until I get to, oh, and this angle here is the bearing. So whichever I do, I start at A and work my way around until I get to the other line. So let's have a look at a couple more of those. Let's just do some of those. Here we go. So again, well, this is bearings. This is the next page, bearings. So let's say we've got A is here and B is here. So I start at A, I draw my north, I draw the line to B, and I work my way around until I get to B. Doesn't matter where it is, I just keep going until I get there. So there is my bearing. Now, let's put some numbers in this thing. And normally, of course, they give you one like this. They say, here's A, and they say, here's B over here. You start with A, and you draw north, and then you draw your line to B, and there it is. And they say something nice like, here it is, and it's 60 degrees. Of course, a bearing is a 0, 6, 0. And of course, it's going clockwise. There it is. Now, and you'll be all merry and you say, great, that's the bearing from A to B. And then they'll say something like, so what's the bearing from B to A? So you do the same thing. It doesn't really matter. You can just call this A if you want, or B, it doesn't matter. You just draw your line. There's my north. And now we're going to go all the way around until we get to the other line there. Okay, so all the way around, here we go. Oh, there is the bearing, that line there. Of course, the only thing we've got to do is work out what that angle would be. And the thing we've got to remember is these two things here are parallel lines. And parallel lines, if we've got two angles between parallel lines, the bit between the two must add to 180, or if you like, plus to 180, yeah? So this plus that equals 180. And of course, 180 minus 60 is 120, yeah? So this must be, I'll draw it this way around because it's an angle, 120 degrees. So this one here, being angles around a point, must be 360 minus that 120, which of course means that this here is a bearing of 240 degrees. All right, let's do another one. Let's imagine you've got an A over here. Here's my A. And it's going up here like that. Nice. And let's say it's going down a bit, down like there. And my B angle is here. My B point is here. There it is. And I want to find out the bearing. So I'm told this bearing, though, is 100 degrees. There's my bearing, 100, yeah? So I know that these two angles here, because these lines are parallel, they're both facing north, they're both facing same direction, that this angle and that angle must add to 180. In other words, 180 minus 100 is equal to 80. So this must be 80 degrees. That's the angle, not the bearing. So I'll draw the arrow that way around. Of course, this means that this angle here must be 360 minus 80 because these are angles around a point. And we're going to take off the 360. So it's going to be 280. So, in fact, you know what? Sure, just do it on the calculator, yeah? So you got 360, you're taking off 80, and you got your 280. So this angle here, this bearing, sorry, is 280 degrees. Of course, you could do it the other way around. No reason why you couldn't. Let's imagine you start here. There's my north. I'm going to call that A. I'm going to go to B. Let's say B is, let's say B is here. Here's B. And we're told that this bearing here, let's say, is 250 degrees. Yeah, 250 degrees, that's our bearing. And we said, well, that's all nice. So what's the bearing then? If that's the bearing from A to B, what's the bearing from B to A? Okay, well, nice and straightforward. This angle here must be 360 minus 250. 360 minus 250. Let's take a look what that would be. Here we go. 360 minus 250. And it's going to be, oh wait, sorry. 360 minus 250. That's better, 110. So this one here must be 110. That's 110 degrees. Well, if that's 110, this one must be 180 minus 110. 180 minus 110. By the way, this is as hard as it will possibly get, but you just need to know what it is. So 180 minus 110 is 70 degrees. So it's 070, 70 degrees. And that's how we do bearings. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully you're happy with that. If you're not, do get back to me. Delighted to show more as required.